Lord is thy shepherd, I shall not want. Him maketh I lie down in a green pastures. Him leadeth I beside still water. Them him restoreth I soul. Him leadeth I in the path of righteousness for him name's sake. Yea! Though I RASTA go walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I can't fear no evil. For thy rod and thy staff them comforted I and I. Who prepared a table before I in the presence of our enemy. Them who anointed I head with no oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy I go follow I all the days of I even. May I go dwell in the house of the Lord God. Jah kadama we groma bea tela exag beer tana istalina bashante shante 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 shante. Oh, how good and how pleasant it is for Jaja people to live together in unities like that precious ointment upon the head and the beard. The head and beard of Aaron going down all the way to his ropes. And I give thanks. I and I, God and King, love everybody and give everybody a gift of life. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High Jah shall therein abide under the shadow of the Almighty. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and they may save. I was young, now I am old. I may never see a righteous man go down. All in picnic them now go beg bread on the sidewalk. And I give thanks. And I says unto your name, oh, Mausa Bolisa, I don't know what it was sick clear for. Ah, what are you, mo? Oh, you are done. This is the Black Pot, aka Kuku Show no more, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Black Rasta. Now, in every traditional African home, there is a black pot, and each time this black pot sits on the fire, there is something super sumptuous cooking, ingredients of so many different types, shapes, and sizes, aromas, and even flavors. Abandon all their differences in one corner and relocate into the black pot where they are subjected to some good amount of heating. In the aftermath, they produce food. Ironically, they do not even partake in the eating of the food, the black pot and the ingredients. It is us, the eaters, who do. Yet every time, with so much enthusiasm, and with all its sumptuousness, and in all its palatability, serve food is given to us after such a beautiful collaboration. My brother, my sister, what lesson can we derive from this? It's a lesson of selflessness. It's a lesson of generational thinking. It's also a lesson of sacrifice. How many of us will still go ahead to help humanity all these years, knowing very well that we do not have our own children? How many people will never donate to an orphanage or an orphan home because they do not have their own children? How many people believe that, oh, as long as I worked very hard to get this, no other person is deserving of enjoying this? How many of us believe that we are so selfish, all because we work so hard for everything that we have? Think about it. My brother, my sister, it is the black pot. It is selflessness. It is generational thinking. At the same time, it is also sacrifice. Any nation that does not have these ingredients is not worthy of being called a nation. It's an empty box. I remember when my grandmother used to water a certain plant that was growing. I used to wonder why she wasted all time watering and pouring precious water under this plant. She died several years ago. That plant grew up to become a big mahogany tree at the back of our house. Now I understand why grandmother did that. As a little child of about 5, I didn't understand. Now the mahogany that came out of the little plant that grandmother watered provides several tens of thousands with good shade, several tens of thousands with nutritious fruits, several tens of thousands with nutritious leaves. They benefit, my brother, my sister, from this wonderful mahogany tree that grandma planted and watered. She knew she would not live long enough to benefit from the tree, the shade, the fruits, and even the leaves. But she still did it for me. She did it for my children. She did it for my children's children. How many of us will go on a journey that will benefit their children and children's children and other people's children, knowing very well that they themselves personally will not benefit from this journey? This is what our leaders lack. That is why all this while our nation continues to go down, further down, 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 down. No selflessness, no sacrifice, no generational thinking. We have it all. Let's blow it all today. After all, tomorrow we die. In the black pot, we look at this. This is patriotism. This is selflessness. This is generational thinking. This is sacrifice. That is why we are here. My brother, my sister, is the black pot, a.k.a. Kukushonamo. Here we don't criticize. But if we must criticize, we'll just criticize for one reason, to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we are in the service of God and country. I'm privileged to come your way again. We are live on YouTube, and our YouTube channel is Blakk Empire Media. Blakk is spelled B-L-A-K-K. Oh gosh. And I am most excited to be with you. Now the good thing is that if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, hit on the subscription button and hit also on the subscription bell. I'm talking about the notification bell, so that each time we are on, you'll be the first person to be alerted to watch. It is a show of patriotism. It's called the Black Pot, a.k.a. Kokoshonamo, where we speak truth to power. Today we're going to run very, very quickly so we can finish quick, yet not compromising the quality of information. Today we have 6 powerful stories to deliver, and I believe that you are all ears. Thank you so much. Share this broadcast and comment, and also like it. We shall read your comments later in the show. I would just like to draw your attention to the fact that we are doing a 16-region tour of Ghana, going to all the regions of Ghana. We will do it for our motherland. We will do it for generations yet to come. The biggest problem we have in Ghana is the problem of patriotism. Today, Ochame Kwame came over to my office, my radio station, and what did he say? He said, Black Rasta, what can we do to make Ghana work again? And I looked at him and I told him, patriotism. He said, what do you mean? Patriotism. We have to begin now. Teach our children to be patriotic no matter what. We have to be able to reward patriotism. We have to be able to uphold patriotism. Once we get patriotism right, every other thing shall fall in place. Corruption will be relegated to the background. Stealing will be relegated to the background. It will all be about our nation. My brother, my sister, is the Black Pot. And we are doing what is known as the My Dear Ghana Tour of all 60 regions of Ghana. We are starting with WA. On the 2nd of March, we will be there. We will deliver a short lecture to the schools, and then we will have a small concert put up so that the multitudes can come and watch us perform to the glory of our nation. My brother, my sister, make sure you are there. But we are asking you to support us so that we are able to do this tour. Donate via Momo. Our numbers are here. And also via our bank account, that is Blakk Empire Media. It is a GT bank account. We would be grateful, and we would always acknowledge you so we can go. What do we need your money for? We need it so when we go to the schools after the lecture, we will give them food, and we shall give them a drink too. To help us travel left, right, and center, hire equipment for the concerts, and to be able to refresh whoever we go to. We will also give out about 100,000 miniature flags on our tour. My brother, my sister. And then we will plant a big flag in each of the regional capitals. Flag of Ghana. So that when the people look at it, dancing in the wind, they at least remember the lecture we came to deliver. My brother, be part of this moment. It doesn't matter how much you can offer. Even if it is 2 pesos, we shall accept it. Whatever it is, if you are sending it to us from foreign, we would also accept it. And you can send it via SendWave, and you can also send it via our bank account. is a black pot, aka Koko Shonemo, where we speak truth to power. Come here, my youth. Now, the very first story we are looking at today is rolling on the screen, and it says, Minister's sons oppose marrying 50-year younger woman. A minister, 50 years older than a woman, wanted to get married to the woman, and his sons were angry. Who is this minister? Oh, okay. So this is Minister Phoebe, former minister of state, 80 years of age, and is marrying a beautiful 30-year-old. Wow, this is interesting. How many of us remember this minister? We have carried this story before. His sons and nephews are not happy. One, they believe that the man doesn't have the energy to go the mile with the 30-year-old woman. They also believe that the 30-year-old woman, in fact, is a gold digger coming to dig out all the 80-year-old gold. So the matter went to court. Is it not interesting? Run the story, my youth. Watch this. High Court clears Professor Dominic Phobe's marriage despite opposition from son and nephew. We call them sons. Now, the High Court at Cape Coast has instructed former Education Minister Professor Dominic Phobe, who served under the Kufuor government, to pardon his son and nephew for their opposition to his marriage to a 30-year-old woman. In a recent ruling reported by DennisLaw.com, the court declared that there were no valid grounds for the objection raised against the 80-year-old professor's union with Mary Nyamiche Uduru, whom he loves. The case drew significant public attention and controversy in May 2023 when a video of the former minister's traditional wedding went viral. The objectors argued that Professor Phobe's decision to marry Mary was irrational, citing his recovery from a stroke and a significant age gap of about 50 years between him and his bride, which they believe would lead to marital discord as seen in his previous marriages. Furthermore, they cast doubt on Mary's intentions, accusing her of infidelity and expressing concern that she might manipulate Professor Phobe into leaving his property to her and even harm him. Additionally, the court addressed claims regarding a prior engagement with one Beatrice Boateng, confirming that the marriage had been dissolved and dismissing the objectors' arguments as unsubstantiated. Ultimately, the court ruled in favor of Professor Phobe and Mary Nyamiche, dismissing the objections as lacking merit. The court urged Professor Phobe to forgive his son, Dr. Nick Phobe, and nephew, Nicholas Phobe, and impose financial penalties of 20,000 on the objectors. Interesting times. So, Professor Phobe just recovered from a stroke. And after the stroke, he wants to reward himself with a very pretty 30-year-old. Now his son and nephews are saying that this woman lacks fidelity. They have seen some movements and they think that she is not faithful to a man who is old enough to be her grandfather. But Professor Phobe says, this is the woman I need, just like Jacob in the Bible, to warm me in my old age. Come here, my youth. My brother, we all know Professor Phobe. He's worked so hard for whatever he has right now. My brother, my sister, when people are getting old like this, they need companionship. I have been privileged to live with older men, 80, 90. And when they get to 80 and 90, if they are unmarried, they start remembering women that they dated in the past, some 30, 40 years back. And they want to get back to them and see if they are single. And they can bring them back. The sons did not consider the feeling of their father. Yes, he's 80 years, but body no be firewood. You'll be shocked that Professor Phoebe might not even be able to have a single erection at 80. But it is not all about erections. It could also be about dejections. Professor Phoebe, in his heydays, had married a number of women, a number of them, not one, not two, not three, not four, a number of them, and divorced all of them. He's a man who has not been fortunate with love. In his old age, 80, he wants to try probably one more time to see if this will work. And he went for a 30-year-old, a lady far younger than all his children. But he says, this is the woman after his heart. Who are you to say no? Why is it that in these times people are only thinking about property? Oh, they are coming to our father because of his property. If your father truly loves you, he should be able to write a will and put your name into it. If your father is behaving irrationally, you should be able to prove medically that your father has lost it upstairs. But if your father meets a 30-year-old and he thinks that the 30-year-old is making him happy, who are you to say that you don't want your father to give his property to this woman? Don't be selfish. You also have the opportunity to get property for yourself. You are not your father. Your father worked hard for whatever he has. If he wants to give you anything, he will give it to you. Any woman who comes into his life, and even if he behaved irrationally and felt that this is the woman after my heart, and gives everything to the woman, so be it. You don't know how this woman made him feel at the time that he gave these things out to her. It's about time African children sat back to think about some of these things. There are things that this 30-year-old can give to the 80-year-old man that none of his children can give. None of his daughters can give. None of his nephews can give. My brother, for all you know, it's not all about sex. For all you know, it's about other things unrelated to sex. You don't know the agreement they had. Oh, you can have fun outside. You can go and have any man. These days it's very common. But just make sure that my midnight massage is there. Or, please, give me some fellatio. I'm not going to explain what fellatio is. Give me fellatio. Give it to me. He will just lie down and enjoy his fellatio, scream loud at the end of it all, and fall asleep for another 20 hours. This is what the sons cannot give him. This is what his daughters cannot give him. Do not be envious of the 30-year-old. I wouldn't want my 80-year-old father to go after a 30-year-old. She is young enough to be his granddaughter. But if that is what he says he wants, and it can be proven that the man is okay, then everything is everything. But Professor Phoebe, please come. Come here. Prof, you've been married several times and divorced. What happened? Did you pick up any good lessons? Or you are just on a hazardous journey of marry, divorce, marry, divorce, marry, divorce? Think about it too, Prof. And if the children have concrete evidence that the prof is sick upstairs, then they can quickly seek the help of a specialist so that the professor could be saved his last few breaths and spasms before he goes into his grave. In the interim, congratulations to the couple. The High Court says, oh, let the old man enjoy himself and forgive the children and he has asked them to pay 20,000 cedis each for trying to stop the old man from enjoying himself. What do you think about this story? Some of us are so insensitive, we might say, oh, at 80, he should just keep quiet. How many days more does he have to go? My brother, when you speak like that, you are being very insensitive. When people get old like this, a lot of their friends have died and gone. Think about it. They will remember one John who used to come to them and they used to go around and do things. John has been dead and buried some 20 years back. Oh, they used to have this girl here who was so beautiful and so nice and would cook nice meals for them. She's been dead and buried for the past 10 years. Almost all their friends at this point are all dead and buried. The few friends that they have are young people who cannot even relate to some of the things they know. I haven't reached there yet, but even at almost 50, I still have some memories of some wonderful friends that I used to have. Today they are dead. People like Abu Suraj, gone. A few other people that I would have wished to have around, gone. Mother gone, father gone. You remember some of these things, and if you don't have a woman in your old age, you will be more miserable. When my father hit almost 80, there were times he asked for his phone to call some of his friends, and we had to remind him that those friends had died some 15 years back. He would not believe. He would insist that we should call them so that he will be sure that they had died. See, at that age, you are almost like a child. But some are able to move on to even about 90 before they lose it all. Some even 100. It depends on your genes. But if you believe that the man still has his senses intact, do not stop him from enjoying his last moments on earth. It might be funny to go for a woman that you are 50 years older than. But when you reach that age, you will understand how your father felt. You would understand how your grandfather felt when he wanted a woman around him. At this point, you are so lonely. Your children leave and go to work. You are alone in the house reading newspapers. You fall asleep reading newspapers. You wake up, there's nobody around. My brother, it is so distressing. Even if you have a woman who will be with you for 1 month, massage you, and do some other things for you, you value that more at that point. That is why we all have to be very careful and take care of the elderly. When our fathers are old, our grandfathers are there, we need to spend all the time with them. Is it surprising that some rich fathers in their old age bequeath everything to their maidservants and leave their children, biological children? Is it surprising that old men, grandfathers, they bequeath everything in their will to their maidservants? I have some female friends who went to work in America with the elderly. And when those elderly people were finally going, they bequeathed every single thing, including houses, to these people who served them for the 2 months, 3 months, 4 months in America. Why can't it happen here? Let's look at the elderly and take care of the elderly so well. We should refuse to believe that dogs like eating bones. No, it's just because you haven't given them meat. If you give dogs meat, they will eat meat and forget about the bones. But we always put it at the back of our mind. Oh, they like bones. So we eat the meat and throw bones at them. Same way, old men might be old, but they are not cold. They need all the love they deserve. What is more beautiful than an old man, 98 years old? He calls his son and says, oh, my son, you have done everything to make me happy. May God bless you. When I die, don't cry again. You have done everything. I go into my grave and I want to say thank you. Please, let's take care of the elderly, or else we might laugh at the wrong sides of our mouths when they bequeath everything to 30-year-old girls, girls they are 50 years older, or they are maidservants, or some other such people. To God be the glory. To Uncle Ebo, Please, Uncle Phoebe, enjoy yourself, your last moments on earth, and I wish you a speedy recovery. So what? He had a stroke, so what? Do you know how many people have had stroke and survived? Some of you have diabetes. You can't even have a single erection. Yet you still have women. A woman is supposed to be a companion. A man is incomplete without a woman. Uncle Phoebe is still alive. He wants a woman. She is not a minor. You already have it in your mind that she is a gold digger because your father is 50 years older than her. Wait, when you are growing older, you would understand what it is to say old age and companionship. To God be the glory. That's it away I'm coming. Next story, my youth. Ghana will never work again. And this is a 56-year-old man talking. He says Ghana will never work again. When I listened to the tape, it brought tears into my eyes, and you can still see that my eyes are teary. I've been crying. I would like to play that video for you to listen to. But before then, let's find out exactly what the man said. Ghana Web carried it. Whoever tells you Ghana will be better is telling lies. It will never be. Elderly NPP driver laments. Come here, my youth, and run the story. What? A 56-year-old elderly driver of one of the ride-hailing services has expressed his frustration and disappointment with the state of the Ghanaian economy and the performance of the ruling party, the New Patriotic Party. The driver, who identified himself as Samuel K. Ama, said he has been a loyal supporter of the NPP all these years, but he feels betrayed and abandoned by the party he voted for. According to him, there is no hope that the country will turn for the better. Nothing will be softened in this country. Every time, everything will continue to rise and nothing will be better. Whoever tells you Ghana will be better till thine kingdom comes is a lie. Our leaders don't have a good mindset. Wow, he stated. Did you hear that? Our leaders don't have a good mindset. Reflecting on the 2012 general elections, Ama recalled his efforts such as vigilantly monitoring ballot boxes to ensure the NPP won power. Despite these efforts, he feels little has changed for the better since then. In 2012, we voted for 2 days, and that was unprecedented. We followed the ballot boxes to the police station so that nobody would shortchange any candidate. After all we did, we saw what happened. I am a card-bearing member of the NPP. I have my card in the house, but I will vote against them. If anything at all, Mahama is the option. The devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. Mahama was the devil. Akufo-Addo was the angel. As a result of the hardship, Samuel Ama stated that he prefers to have moved to another country to continue his trade as a driver. Once you become a president or minister, you become rich. Why should that be the case? At my age 56, I still want to leave this country. At the moment, I have a country in mind. Yes, I have a country in mind. I have a friend in that country. I'll go there and drive just like I'm doing here. I'm not thinking about myself, because if at this time I am suffering, what about my children? He questioned. Please, is it not?
You are rich. Why? Why is too much? We are fed up. For me, at my age, 56, even I'll still leave the country. I will leave.
Where do you want to leave the country? Where do you want to go?
I'll go overseas.
Do you have a country that you would like to go?
I have.
You have a country in mind?
Yes, I have a country in mind. A friend of mine, I spoke to him yesterday. He was looking for me. I'll come and drive this boat over there.
Yeah.
I'm preparing towards it. Mother, we are fed up. I'm not thinking of myself. If at this time I'm suffering, what about my children? If me at this time I'm suffering, nothing will be softening in this country. Everything will be going on high. Nothing will be better.
Wow.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Whoever will tell you once that Ghana will be better, well, no. It will not be better. So that,
Are you cursing Ghana?
No, I'm not cursing Ghana. Our leaders don't have a good mindset. We voted for
2012.
We voted for 2 days.
And what happened? Tell me about it.
We went there. We went to police because it has all been unprecedented. It has been unprecedented. We haven't voted for 2 days before.
Yeah.
So we went to where they were said we couldn't finish the voting. So we went to. They are sending the that's in the ballot box to police station. We went there to police so that nobody will shortchange the this and the result.
Yeah, the results. Yeah.
What's that? And when we went there later on, whatever happened. We were all looking for people to become a president. And
So
now
you're a card-bearing member of the NPP.
I have my card there. This is not paying. So the card is there. So that when you flash it, I can even take a picture and then send it to you.
Nice.
So, if anything, I'll go there.
Oh my God. Well, I'm not interested in which party he is a member of. But I'm interested in the fact that he said it's not about him. If at 56 I'm suffering, then you can imagine my children. I'm not 56 yet. In the next 6.5 years, or better still 5.5 years, I will be around that age. My brother, my sister, when you see me angry, fighting so hard, I feel the same way this 56-year-old man feels. He says they went to the police station, slept there for 2 days to make sure that his party was not shortchanged. They were tired of Mahama and they wanted the nation to work. Therefore, they decided that they would have to be vigilant. What happened to their vigilance? Nana Akufo-Addo came into power and they are even more disappointed. So for him, it was his last chance to ever think about the betterment of Ghana. And once it failed, he has given up. A man like this can commit suicide. He says he wants to travel outside the country where he will go and drive. Where is the patriotism? It's gone. He mentioned another thing that is so important, that we don't have a good mindset, the leaders. And that is true. It's true. How can you have a good mindset? You have Takwa Mines School. It's a university. All these years. The material you churn out cannot take care of our mines in Ghana. You have to go to America and bring people after so many years of training miners. No expertise, no equipment. But all the latest cars manufactured in America and China, you have them in this country. Before they are even manufactured, you tell them the specs you want. They manufacture that for you. Why can't you ask them to manufacture those equipment for you if you cannot do that? They come and take 80%, and then the 20%, they give us 2%, 4%, 5%. The rest of it, they give that as kickbacks. Our country is so corrupt. I have some friends from the UK and America, white people. They come to Ghana on contract and the things they tell me is terrible. Terrible. It's terrible, my brother. Your country is so corrupt. Every centimeter you walk, somebody wants money from you to do something that he has already been paid for to do. They don't care. Stifling and destroying the whole country to make money for their pockets. When people behave like this, you don't have a country. Where did we go wrong? That is why we have to start from the basics. Patriotism. Ghana will work again. The 56-year-old man has thrown his hands in the air in despair. But there's hope. And the hope is making sure that patriotism works. When patriotism works, when leaders come and they are not patriotic, the whole citizenry will rise against that leader. You will be forced to walk in the tenets of patriotism. It's like America. Any leader that is voted, there's already a template. You just have to walk through the template and add 1 or 2 things to make it work. Why is it that American presidents are not rich? They are presidents, yet they are not rich. Yet with us, the politicians are the richest. They are those we run to with personal problems. Ghana will truly work again. And I have told you already, there's no way Ghana will work again without patriotism. Come here. Nigeria will never work again without patriotism. We should have Nigerians say we are proud of our nation. We love our nation. We are doing everything possible to make our nation work. Seme border should be opened for people to cross. Aflawo border, open it. Don't be stupid. These are all colonial borders. How can you have the OAU, now called the AU, and even ECOWAS, and your borders are still closed to each other? You always remind each other of the fact that, oh, I'm leaving this area. I'm now going into another man's land. That is why there's a border. When you go to Europe, the Europeans that we are copying, they don't have that. I drive all the way from Amsterdam, and I go all the way through Germany, Belgium, and go all the way to Paris in France. Not a single border. Why? I only pay tolls, and I'm going, and I'm going. Yet with us, nah. Borders. And when you go to the borders, that is where people become rich. They milk each other, steal from each other, beat each other. It is the most corrupt point, the border. Seme border is the worst border in the world. Go and see how Nigerians are beating fellow Nigerians who have left Nigeria, gone out for business, and they are coming back. They beat them and ask them to pay money. If they are not able to pay, they push them in some small room where they beat them like animals, like criminals. Why? Where is the African unity? Why? If I ever became president of Ghana for even 1 month, my brother, this country is going to change. But I will never be president. There's no way. It's not my destiny. We have to demand from our leaders the same way we are demanding from our football players. We have to shout against corruption the same way we are shouting when a goal is scored. Goal! And it's like the whole nation is going to explode. When injustice is meted out to us, we have to shout the same way we shout when a goal is scored. There are more people in Ghana who respect football more than Ghana. Why? Who created us? Patriotism is the way out. And I keep saying it. When Dan Latte was talking about domestication, they were laughing at him. He didn't speak good English, so they laughed at him. He was on his way. Dan Latte. Domestication. It's not far from saying patriotism. He had an answer, but we laughed at him and said he didn't speak good English, so he wasn't brilliant. He was more brilliant than Akufo-Addo. More brilliant than all those people he competed with. What did they bring on the table? You are running to the IMF and the World Bank. Is that domestication? When is the nation going to grow? It will only grow when we become patriotic. When we fly the flag, when we see our flag and we have chills all over us. We stand straight. Our bodies become very spasmic. Shaking. So the 56-year-old man, I agree with him. The only thing I don't agree with him about is that there's a future. It's a black pot, a.k.a. Kokoshodamo. When we return, we shall talk some more, and we will also be reading your messages. Hey! Wayo! Some people are so poor, all they have is just money. It's deep, isn't it? All they have is just money. No common sense. Nothing. It's just money. Wow. Bob Marley. Happy birthday to Bob Marley. He was born today in 1945. If he was with us physically today, he'll be 79 years old. Bob Marley, the king of reggae. May he rest in peace. His wisdom is still teaching us. Anyway, next story, my youth. Soldiers storm Senegal parliament. Who is the president of Senegal? They call him Macky Sall. That's him here. A lot of people don't like him, but he also has some who like him. Even the devil has fans. Run the story. Senegal lawmakers vote to postpone presidential election. Jesus. Senegal's parliament on Monday voted to hold a postponed presidential election on December 15 in the face of public outcry that led some opposition lawmakers to blockade proceedings until security forces intervened. The move follows President Macky Sall's unprecedented announcement of a postponement on Saturday that pitched the nation into uncharted constitutional waters and threatens to further tarnish its reputation as a bastion of democratic stability in a region swept by coups. Riot police fired tear gas to disperse protesters outside the parliament as lawmakers discussed the bill that initially proposed rescheduling February 25 vote to August 25. March, April, May, June, July, August. He wants 6 more months, half a year of sleeping and stealing and misbehaving. Your tenure of office has ended. Why do you want to give yourself half a year? Why? Eh? And listen, he said they want to reschedule it from February 25 to August 25 to keep Sall in power until his successor is installed. By the evening, just before the final vote, the bill was amended to propose the even later election date of December 15. But it was passed by 105 MPs in the 165-seat assembly. Did you hear that? They wanted to move it to August when it should have been done in February. Oh, riot, confusion. Okay, let's put it to vote. Now they agreed that even the August, they should extend it further to December. 1 more year for the president to bask in glory and steal more. The last-minute amendment to postpone the election to December rather than August is likely to provoke further opposition backlash and risk a repeat of violent protests that have broken out over the past 3 years, partly over Sall's alleged authoritarian overreach. Authoritarian. That means he's autocratic. He's an autocrat. Maka obi anka fhebio. Opeyina guarantee so answer. After hours of procedural discussions, lawmakers had been due to start the debate and vote on the bill when around a dozen opposition members rushed the central dais and refused to leave, effectively halting parliamentary business. More than 2 hours later, security forces moved them off the central area, allowing the vote to proceed. What are you doing? What you are doing is not democratic. It's not Republican, said Guy Myros Sagna, who was one of the several rebel MPs wearing a sash in the colors of the Senegalese flag. Tear gas and arrests. That's it. Macky Sall has been a disappointment. So these were the soldiers who came into the Parliament House battle ready. You know what trick it is? When the demonstrations continue, they will throw more tear gas, and then they will bring in what is known as a state of emergency. And when there's a state of emergency, it can last 3 years, 10 years, so they can continue being in power. You see, greedy African leaders. Another way of violating the constitution. They wanted to do it in Ghana. The EC said, oh, we want to actually bring it a little earlier. Why? Because your juju men told you that if you vote in how's it called, December, you will lose. So you are bringing it to November. That's the kind of country we are. Tell them, if they vote in December, I swear they will lose. And quickly, they will shift it. What a country. Let those juju men tell you how you can fix the economy. Let them pray so Galamsey will stop. Let them pray so that the nation will become a better nation. It's not all about predicting elections and telling who will win elections if they slaughter a goat or a cow. We are fed up with that. What is the importance of winning an election if you cannot contribute anything to the development of the people? Yeah, that is what all these juju men are talking about. This person is going to win the election. All he needs to do is to slaughter a camel. And what next? They win and come and steal from us. What have they done? It's the Black Pot, a.k.a. Kukushonomo. The people of Senegal must revolt. Come here. They must fight and fight. The soldiers must be wise. Please, do not allow a dirty dictator ruin the country. His time is up, so he wants to go down with the nation. Don't allow it. Africa must work again. When I return, we shall read your messages. In the interim, Bob Marley visited Africa. Do you remember the first country he visited? Do you know? The first country Bob Marley visited. Do you know who invited him? Do you know why he came? It's the Black Pot. If you know the answer, give it to me. Hey! Wayo! Arise, Ghana youth, for your country. The nation demands your devotion.
This is my Gold Coast, now call Ghana. Get way to Africa, get way to the world.
Are you ready to build your motherland? How many of us remember this beautiful song I just sang? How many of us remember the lyrics of the national anthem? How about the words of the national pledge? Do they mean anything to us at all? Now, history teaches us that all the big nations of the world that have made it have put patriotism first. In our nation, Ghana, it looks like this is not what is happening right now. Can we remember the great works of our ancestors who shed their blood and sweated for our nation to grow? Are we going to sit down and watch our nation go down? Are we ready to uphold the tenets of patriotism? Well, it is on this backdrop that Blakk RASTA is going on a 16-region tour of Ghana. All the regions of Ghana. We shall go to all of these. And each region we go to, we shall hoist a flag of Ghana at a vantage point. 16 flags all over. And then we would give 100,000 miniature flags on our tour. At a vantage point in every region, we will lecture students and talk to them about patriotism. It is called My Dear Ghana Tour. We have a beautiful song that goes with it. At the end of the tour, We hope to be able to get Ghanaians to get more patriotic. As we are the beacon of Africa, the gateway to Africa, we should be able to lead Africa into the new world of renewed patriotism. Watch out for the details. 2nd March, we are beginning. Watch where the train stops. And in the evenings, from 7 p.m., we will put up a beautiful concert for the area. Most of it will be at the market square, or the village square, or the city square, where everybody can come out and watch us. We shall also be on the streets performing live just to entertain you and spread the message of patriotism. We have also decided to come knocking on your door to ask you to donate so that we'll be able to go on this tour smoothly. If you want to send us Momo, our Momo numbers are scrolling. If you want to send us something into our bank account, be you in Ghana or outside Ghana, our account number is also right here, including the SWIFT code for those who live abroad. My name is Blakk RASTA, and I hope to see you in your region anytime soon. Let us uphold the great image of Ghana. Ghana did not come here by chance. It was ordained. We must make sure it works. I love you. I love Ghana. Ghana shall prosper. Ghana shall work again.
Blackpot. Coco show.
It's the Black Pot, aka Coco Show, where we speak truth to power. Let's see your comments. And keep your comments coming in. We will be reading them again after this batch. Come here, my youth. All right. So this one is coming from Rain RK Reynolds. And it says, Blakk, you are the best, my brother. No retreat, no surrender. Ghana will work. Rap Thunder says, legends, legendary. I love your legendary. Blakk, woyo. Osaje Fuduwa Bill. Tindan Doro. Goma Doro. Ayenzor Bill says, woyo. Gideon Borkete Borte Akwaba says, woyo. Francis Ampim says, Blakk, the show is live and I'm very excited to be in class today. And it's all about Ghana. No one is bigger than the truth. Woyo. Ras Osajifu says, more fire, my Lion King. You never give up on your cause of reaching the masses across the world with positivity, consciousness, and most importantly, patriotism. Isaiah, prominent king, says, Isa, in fact, this is Isa, the prominent king. He says, the epitome of knowledge and wisdom. Lighter GATV says, it has been a while with Blakk RASTA and Mr. Show. Come here. Isa, prominent king, says, I salute your wisdom, Father. Critical consciousness says, Blakk, please get your team to make shorter videos according to the topics. This will make viewing easier. Well, we actually do that. So we post that on Facebook. You'll see the shorter ones. And we are also on TikTok. You'll see the shorter ones according to the topics. So, I mean, that is what it is. On YouTube, we also make sure that you can skip to any topic of your choice. Yeah? All right? So that is what it is. But you get the shorter versions on TikTok. And you also get them on Facebook. So that is being done. Reggie Okine says, love you, sir, and I love you too. All right. Odum says, fire. Zache Emmanuel says, Ghana shall prosper, and it's all the way from Wusuta, Governor. Thank you so much. Gosway Jata says, Blakk RASTA, come here. Woyo. Muhammad Banjeyawan says, a bit late today, but alhamdulillah, I am in the session. More fire. Legendary Blakk RASTA. Mbiale. Na won panksima mpa nasara dimlezo. May God strengthen you and give you victory over the enemies. That's what he's saying. Ami unto zompire pam. Run the story, brethren. Come here. Wayo. This is MC Scorpion, a.k.a. Muhammad Banjaya 1. Benjamin Achu says word. Lighter GH says, Wayo, Blakk, you are the best. Paul Skimo says, I agree with the sentiment that despite abundant resources, our country is still sinking like the Titanic, largely due to the lack of knowledge among some of our leaders. Faisal Nuruddin says, Assalamu alaikum, Blakk Rasta, watching you live from New York City. Come here, where you stay blessed and Almighty Allah increase you in knowledge. Amen. Summa, amen. Thank you so much, my brother Faisal Nuruddin. And Rap Thunder says, Osaje Fuduabel says, very deep quote of the day. Wow. Hail the King Bob Marley. All right. Next story, my youth. Bird flu ravages Niger. You know bird flu? Avian flu. You see them? They are burying them in their thorns. It's sad. But there are some people who are so hungry, bird flu or no bird flu, they will still eat chicken. And even the chicken that is said, to be ridden with bird flu, they will still eat it. They believe that by roasting it very well, they are safe. My brother, it's only hunger that will make a man eat a bird that has been killed by bird flu. My brother, Niger is just here. What am I saying? When you see your neighbor's beard burning, you must get water ready, because yours would also catch fire soon, so you can douse it. My brother, we eat a lot of meat in our country, and the way we treat animals is very terrible. Yesterday I was on the street, and I saw some cows hanging from the back of a certain truck. Their heads were like this, and saliva was pouring all over. You are going to eat it? This is your food? You are going to eat that? It's cholesterol. The cow is already depressed. Saliva is running. It's going to release bile. You will eat it and it will poison you. This is scientific. Go to the Zongos. A day before Salah, all the cows are moo, moo. Some of them are crying. Have you seen a cow cry before? Oh, Jesus. I like to watch animal documentaries. I watched a cheetah. You know a cheetah? That animal that looks like a tiger. With its little baby. Whatever happened? Some wolves came around. Fight. And they killed the little baby of the cheetah. The cheetah was able to escape. My brother, for 5 solid years, this cheetah always returned to where his baby was killed. It will smell the place and go like that for minutes. For 5 solid years. Animals also have feeling. When you watch animal documentaries, watch how a buffalo's baby is attacked by a lion. And how the mother will face this animal. The weakest animals all become strong when their babies are attacked. They don't run away and leave them. They fight. They prefer dying with their babies. They are feeling. Yet you go and catch this and say it's your food, you are going to eat. You catch it and say you are going to eat. God has given it to you to eat. So you go and brutalize it, cook it, and sit with your family and say you are enjoying, you are rich. My brother, what was I talking about? Bird flu, right? How did I veer into some of these things? Jesus. Bird flu outbreak declared in Niger capital. What is the capital of Niger? Is it not Niamey? Niger. The capital city of Niger, Niamey, has been declared an infected zone after a fresh outbreak of H5N1 strain of bird flu was detected in local base. Yes, the H5N1 strain of bird flu, aka avian flu, is here. There was a young man who told me, oh, what is bird flu? Me in my village, when you see the fowl doing and starts going round, we would chop them or nothing they happen to, they chop. Just go slaughter and roast and chop and in be that. Hey, that be bird flu, eh? When your fowl started to do that be bird flu. You die. Bird flu is not coccidiosis. Why do you want to even eat a sick bird? The village where I come from, if an animal was sick, children were happy. That day, that animal would be slaughtered for fear that it might die. They will slaughter it and enjoy it. The virus can cause life-threatening sickness in several species of birds, including poultry and wild birds. Humans in frequent contact with birds can also become infected. Symptoms can include fever, aching muscles, headache, and a cough or shortness of breath. According to ADWOA Niger, over the past 2 years, there have been several outbreaks of H5N1 in Niger, which is classified as a notable zoonotic animal disease. That's it. My brother, let's treat our animals well. Take them to the veterinary and take care of them. Treat them fine. In Africa, we let them just walk about anywhere and come home with diseases. We only look for our animals when we want to sell them or eat them. That is cruel. It's cruel. Treat animals good. Anyway, it's the Blakk pot, a.k.a. Kokoshonamo. Next one. ADWOA SAFO calls national pledge misogynistic. This is ADWOA SAFO. She lost the elections, thank God. Now, she says something that the national pledge is misogynistic. I will explain that word, don't worry. Omitting mothers in the national pledge is gender insensitive. Jeff, find me the national pledge of Ghana, yeah? The words of the national pledge and put them up, yeah? It says, omitting mothers in the national pledge is gender insensitive. And this is ADWOA SAFO. The member of parliament for Domi Kwabenya, Sarah ADWOA SAFO, has called for the inclusion of the role of mothers in the national pledge. Run it, my youth. In the national pledge. What is she talking about? Now, according to her, the part of the pledge which reads, through the blood and toil of our fathers, omits the crucial role mothers played, describing it as gender insensitive. Speaking in Parliament, after the House recited the national pledge, making the implementation of the new standing orders of Parliament, she said, Mr. Speaker, the national pledge, it talks about through the blood and toil of our fathers. Mr. Speaker, it omits mothers. Mr. Speaker, the mothers also toiled for this country. I think that it is gender insensitive. Even when we are making reference to the country, we call it our motherland. But when it comes to the pledge, and we are referring to the toil, we omit that of our mothers. And I want to draw your attention to it. So I become more gender sensitive when it comes to our national pledge. Her statement in the first public speech after she lost her seat in the just ended parliamentary primaries of the NPP. The primaries held on Saturday, January 27, saw Mike Okwei Jr. securing a significant 1,194 votes, ultimately surpassing ADWOA SAFO to become the NPP parliamentary candidate for Domi Kwabenya. She's a lawyer and a former deputy majority speaker in parliament who has been a prominent figure in Ghanaian politics and a key member of the governing NPP. However, she just polled 328 votes in that election. They should have added why she lost the election: arrogance, selfishness, she wasn't ready to put Ghana first. You see the person who is talking about mothers have been playing a role and they are not even part of the Ghanaian team. She ran away from Ghana and said her family first. Such hypocrites, when they talk, is sad. But of course, let's leave her aside, her personality, and deal with the national pledge. Is it true that the national pledge is misogynistic? Jeff, do you have the national pledge? Put it up. My brother, look at the Ghanaian national pledge. What is the national pledge talking about? It's different from the national anthem. God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great. It's different from, I promise on my honor to be faithful to Ghana, my motherland. Did she hear motherland? Did she hear motherland or not? Did she hear motherland? I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. That is the bigger picture, the universal set. I pledge myself to the service of Ghana with all my strength and with all my heart. I promise to hold in high esteem our heritage won for us through the blood and toil of our fathers. Of course, mothers also helped in the toil. So when we say, I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland, should we also say, and fatherland? This is poetry. This is poetry. The mother is the symbol of the nation. The father is the symbol of war and bloodshed. When it comes to toil, when we talk about hard, groundbreaking toil, we don't want our women to be involved. Of course, we have women like Ya Asantua and the rest, but we normally would want them to stay home and take care of the children. That is why in every disaster, we are looking for women and children. It is not their duty to suffer. It's the man's duty to go and face the powder. It's common sense. In no way is the national pledge looking down on women. It's just poetry, beautiful poetry. If you are not a poet, you might not understand this. You have dedicated the whole nation to womanhood. Now you go into it to pick up elements, objects. Those of you who studied mathematics, the universal set is the biggest. Then we have subsets. Then you have elements in the subsets. All under the universal set. Now out of the universal set, which is womanhood, you go inside and pick up men. And you say that you should also be part of the subset. Oh, Jesus. You see, this is quite trivial for me. The most important thing was for you to stay with the women, children, and gender and social ministry. But you ran away to America and said, family first. Please, by saying that it is our motherland, it covers all women. Period. Dash it away. It is what it is. Final story. And we are done. Oh, Jesus. And this story says Mauritanian coach for Ghana Black Stars. Mauritanian. Wow. You know the capital of Mauritania, right? It's Nouakchott. Nouakchott. Jeff didn't know that. It's Nouakchott. This is the coach. He's called Amir Abdou. He's a black coach. Coach Amir Abdou. Hey, I came across this news item. Watch it from Ghana Web. It says GFA, that's Ghana Football Association, tables $45,000 American salary offer for Mauritania coach Amir Abdou. And listen, The Ghana Football Association is reportedly considering the appointment of Mauritania head coach Amir Abdou as the next head coach of the Black Stars. According to AfricaSoccer.com, the Ghana Football Association has tabled a tempting salary of $45,000 American dollars to convince the coach to take up the Black Stars coaching job. Abdou is on a $35,000 monthly salary with the Mauritanian Football Federation, MFF, and his contract expires in March 2024. However, the coach is tempted not to extend his contract with the Mauritanian Federation due to the upset over the high cost of wages in the country. Upset over the high cost of wages in the country. Reports suggest that the Mauritanian Federation are also considering the appointment of Spanish trainer Artis Lopez Gary as a potential replacement should Abdou leave his post. Abdou led Mauritania to their best ever AFCON campaign, reaching the round of 16 stage for the first time and earning a historic victory over Algeria. The coach previously guided Comoros at their maiden AFCON appearance where he defeated Ghana in the group stage in 2021 before bowing out to the hosts in the round of 16. The GFA has identified Abdou as a suitable replacement for Chris Hughton. Jesus. Before Chris Hughton came, we were told he was a master tactician from England. He knew it all. He was the one who was going to take us out of our trophy drought. He messed up. My brother, we are treating symptoms and not the disease. Mahama says, should he become president, he will look inward for talents. This is a Mauritanian coach. He has done well. He was born in France. He's 51 years old. He guided the Comoros, and they did well. Mauritania, they did well. GFA is thinking that if these countries are not known for football, have been able to come this far, then the Ghana football team will do better. But they are refusing to understand that national football has become a symbol of the nation. Football has gone beyond just a game. It's now the DNA of every country. If you go and bring somebody from another country, when you are playing his country finally, what is it going to be like? We all remember what the Serbian coach did to us. When we played Serbia and won against Serbia, he refused to celebrate. When people came to embrace him, he kicked them off. We all remember that coach. Until we take our football serious and make sure that the national team represents the national flag and that whoever is in the national team has the Ghanaian blood in him and Ghana at heart. Hey, if you want to go and bring Angel Gabriel to come and coach the Black Stars, they will never do well. It's all about patriotism. Mohammed's idea is the best. Look inward. Groom the CK Akonos. Groom the other guys. Let them come and do the work. They can do it. If a Mauritanian coach, his country is only noted for dancing with sword, Arabic swords. Haza zulu 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 zulu. Haza zulu 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 zulu. Phew! That's what they do. They don't play football. He's been able to raise the team to play football and compete. Why can't you do it? You are always seen playing football. It's the Blackport, a.k.a. Kukusho. Here we speak truth to power. I want to say thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. Today I've been a little slow because of what I told you earlier. What the old man said, 56-year-old man. Yeah, it really touched me. There are a lot of people who are thinking like that. That's why it's important to go on this tour. Please make sure you donate. It doesn't matter how small. We will do our best. Depending on how much we have available to us, we will hit all the 16 regions. If we are not able to complete it for shortage of cash, we will come back, plan another few weeks after, and return and go and do that. We can only do according to our strength. It's a black pot, aka Coco Show no more. Let's see your messages and we'll be done. All right. So Mark Hendricks says, big up yourself, Blakk, and big up yourself too. Brakwesi says, hi, sir. Regards. With regards to the Black Stars, I think the day Ayu should step aside if he truly is that patriotic and devoted to the Stars, considering his form at the moment. Well, that's an opinion. Brakwesi says, I think that he, the day Ayu, knows very well he is not in good form. So why can't he sacrifice and give? He is not selecting himself. He's not the one who is strangulating the coach to put him there. He comes and competes with other players. We are talking as if the day Ayu selects himself and says, by all means, I must play. No. The coach who is hired looks at the players that he has available at his disposal. Then he invites them. The day doesn't have the influence like that to force any coach to fill them. We are making it look like it's the day who is doing that. Nabon Pyramid says, good evening, Black Rasta. It's high time we Africans started to work with common sense and left God to rest. This, our religious mentality, is really killing us. Jah guide you, my brother. Blessed. Rap Thunder says, please, let's donate for my dear Ghana tour. I got the flyer, so I always do the needful. Thank you so much, my brother. Miro says, she doesn't even know the pledge. She is not even qualified to be in parliament. Harry Watson says, KJC. Harry Watson, KJC. He says, Miro says, all those in government positions should be able to recite the pledge and the national anthem before they even qualify for the position. Okay, time to go. If your message has not been read, we will certainly get them again and read the next time we come. Until then, hey! Voyo!